everybody. Welcome to Honeybee Fluid Art. Last week I poured a turtle and I had some black resin left over, so I went ahead and poured it into these molds. I'm going to do the bubble effect, which I did about a week or so ago with wine glasses. Now today I'm going to be using the bubbles. I'm going to be using UV resin by Let's Resin, and I'll brush the bubbles with holographic powder. I just purchased this Resiners UV light. I tried it out earlier and it seems to work really great. I have my spatula to catch the bubbles, and I will be speeding you up during this video so it can finish quicker. So here I'm just applying some resin, UV resin, and I will spread this a nice thin layer. And then I'll blow the bubbles and I'll apply the bubbles onto it. And then I'll use the UV light. So let me just spread this. Let me move this light out of the way. There we go. All right, that one is finished, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change places with this one. Had a little stubborn bubble there, but I don't think it's going to matter much since I'm going to put the bubbles on, and then once all the bubbles have been cured, then I'm going to brush it like I said, so I don't even think we're going to see the bubbles. But here we go. I'm going to blow some bubbles. Light ready. This is actually very easy to use. Like I said, I used it earlier and I was really happy with it. Slide these out of the way. Just gonna move that one. Put this one here. I was thinking I was gonna be able to do 2 of these at a time, but I don't think so for what I want to do with the bubbles. And I want big bubbles, not little bubbles. So, okay, here we go. I want to be sure to get the bubbles that are larger, and I don't want to bring any water into the resin. So I'm just scooping bubbles. Okay, I'm going to turn it on. Now with this Resiners UV lamp. If you press it one time, it'll just stay on continuously. So I love that about this, that I don't have to reach back in and do 2 and 3 times. And if I have any of the areas that are not covered with bubbles, I can always go back in and do a little layer of bubbles with a resin. All right, that looks good. I'm just gonna brush that off. I was thinking what I could do is put all the UV resin on, but then I didn't want any of the Resiners UV Light to get onto it. So it's gonna be one at a time. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way. And because it's the black resin on there, of course, it's gonna take a little bit longer to cure. So I'll cure everything one last time at the end. Okay, so right here, I had big bubbles that didn't adhere to the resin. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of resin right here, and then I'm gonna add some more bubbles. Not bad. I'm gonna leave this here. Okay, so off camera, I blew the bubbles off. I don't really think I needed to go back in and fill this in. This was the first one, I think. So I had a lot of little bubbles, and then by the 4th one, I figured out how to get the most out of my bubbles. Just a high tower of bubbles and move it over and lay it on. I'm loving this Resiners Light. If you put the arms straight to the center here, everything in this path will get cured. If you put them out like this, it's a line like this. And if you put them out like this, and again, the line goes out. This is awesome. I love it. So I'm just giving this a little bit more of a longer cure since it is black UV. I'm going to, once this is dry, I'm going to brush it with this holographic powder. This is, I don't know if you can see that. It's really pretty, but we'll see it in a little bit. All right, back in a little while. And I'm back. Okay, I took the molds outside for about 15-20 minutes with the black. I think it was just a little extra harder for it to cure, but they seem to be holding up really well. They're not sticky or anything, so I'm going to use this Let's Resin Holographic fine mica powder. And ooh, it's on there tight. Make sure that you use safety precautions, like a mask, should you be working with mica powders so they don't fly up into your respiratory system, into your nose or mouth. This is a brush that the Let's Resin holographic powders came with. I'm going to use this other brush that I just got at, I don't know, CVS or something like that. It just has a bigger base of, for spreading, and I think it will be a little bit better to get into all the nooks and crannies. So I will speed you up while I get this process done. Okay, resin is mixed. These turned out so beautiful. I love the holographic look that the Let's Resin mica powder is giving. So nice. They all came out well except for this one. I'm not sure why there's not a lot of sticking on some areas in here. I recall this is the first one. I remember I had the big glob of bubbles in this one. But you know, things happen. So we will go. I'm using Let's Resin casting resin. And I'm just gonna pour slowly in the center. I'm not gonna use alcohol because of course that would displace the powder. So I'm just gonna do a slow pour and then hope everything just seeps into all those nooks and crannies. Because that's why it's probably better to have the larger bubbles so it's not as little areas that the resin has to creep into. So there won't be any big reveal on this. I'm just going to go ahead and get this poured, and I have this coasters on a heating mat, and then I'll let them cure for about 4 hours or so, and then I will take them out of the mold. I did mix up 8 ounces of resin to finish these off. So hopefully that's all I need. But if I have extras, I have something else to pour. I'm gonna stop there on that one. That looks good. I'm gonna start here. Okay, looks like I had just enough resin to top those off, and I will let them cure and then we will demold. Okay, I am back. So a couple of things. I love, love, love this effect. The colors, the holographic really pop. Excuse the lights. It's like a rainbow of colors. You can see in this one here, maybe I needed to wipe it out a little bit with, maybe I had too much residue from like soap or something. So didn't get a lot of great coverage on this one, but the effect is still really, really great. And it seems the best to blow a lot of bubbles like I did in this one. And then I used the spatula to help move the bubbles onto it. So I did a lot of bubbles on the top and then I moved it right onto the top of it. Really helped cover the entire coasters. You can see on this one, I got one little bubble on there. It's not horrible. You can see some of the powder rose to the top. I even used a blow dryer to try to get off some of that powder, so it didn't do that, but it still got on there. But overall, great effect. It's a lot of fun to do this. And I just love the Resiners Light. That really seemed to take up less time. It was less time to use it versus, you know, a single light and you're putting one or two items into it. It really has a lot of possibilities. I like to do wine glasses with resin. I have a short on that. I'll be making a video on that coming up soon. And I can really see how that it covers a lot of space, so I think that's great. I did have to pop these outside for about 15 minutes just for time-wise. I think also that was because of the black background with the resin. It was just harder to cure it, but I think overall the Resiners gets a 10 stars from me. Not that they were asking, but I'm giving them 10 stars. So I think what I'm gonna do is finish these off with this gold marker from JDiction, just to kind of give a little final. I thought the silver, sorry, it's silver. The silver would work nice with this, just to give it a finished look. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my video. And I appreciate you buzzing by.